first question, when you think of the Manchester derby, what comes to mind?
Oh, is it any derby, or this is a super special derby, isn't it? No, I think like whenever I've seen the female version of it, it's always been tightly contested. I know, look, it's the quality moments. I think, I'm pretty sure somebody will ask me, do you feel that you're the favourites, and because of where Manchester City are and so on and so on? And we all know, so before we ask that question, we all know that a derby, any kind of form, goes out the window. It's all about moments. It's all about concentration. It's all about knowing your opponent. I expect it to be a wonderfully electric kind of moment, but I think we have to keep it in perspective of how we would want to approach it. Is for us, it's another team that we have to play with the added emotion of just it being one of these games. But I think where I'm trying to get our team to is be ruthless regardless of the opponent. So we have to almost play like it's a derby every time we play, rather than it just be when it actually is derby time. It'll be a great game. Two really, really good teams going at it, hopefully, and it'll be a good one for the spectators to follow.
Players like Katie Taylor and you also got to sort of born and bred Manchester. Have they been able to give you an insight to maybe what it means to the people?
Yeah, I think so. And I think you have to absorb yourself into that culture and to be part of it. While I'm Manchester United manager, I'm going to bleed absolute red. So for us, I have to understand and what it means to the fans and what it means to be part of a derby of this magnitude. So it's going to be something exciting, but also as a coach, you have to kind of love the emotion, but also stay focused. I think that's important. We're going to stay focused so we make good decisions. So I want the fans to be the energy in this, and we can be the focus and control.
Just last one from me. Obviously, you mentioned it a little earlier, the start City have had. Just what have you made of it? And is that something you can capitalise on?
Look, absolutely. Sometimes results go and you look at them and go, okay, yeah, that was a well-deserved result. But then I look at the West Ham performance and barring, they outpossess, they love to obviously possess the football, and they're very, very good at it. But I think that they're in a moment at where they are right now, but they've got lots and lots and lots of qualities. They're a top team, and something we can't even look at the form currently. We've got to get away from what our team is doing right now and just be focused on what we can do, regardless if the team is flying or whether they're having a little bit of a rough patch. But they're a top team and something we're aware of, but you're not really going into your game planning thinking they're at this space. You have to go in and put all of your energies into your performance.
Nice one. Good luck on Saturday, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Graham from Sky next, please.
Hi, Mark. Graham Thomas here from Sky Sports News. How you doing?
Hi, Graham. How are you, bud?
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Just given the context of this derby, the focus on the WSL and the sustained focus that we've never had before, do you feel a responsibility to start creating derby memories for fans to refer to in years to come, 5 years, 10 years? We need those memories now, don't we?
Now I do. Thanks for that. Now I definitely do now. Look, no, of course, I think I want to create memories regardless of the opponent. I think that's important. We have to, because we're more visible. We want, young girls to turn the TV on and see wonderful players playing at the top of their game and, being really exciting to watch and see something they might envisage in their futures. Absolutely, we have to create memories. I think I've been in part of women's football for a long period of time now where I've seen those games that just weren't covered by TV. And they were memories and they are continuously. But now that we have more exposure, we of course, as coaches, I'm pretty sure, Gareth will want to do the same. We want to create moments where it takes people's breath away. And I think, look, we'd love to create derby special moments, of course. I'd love to guarantee that we can do that every time that we play, just so that we can have a narrative of spectacular every time. But yeah, look, we want to do that. We're going to try to do that against Manchester City. And, if it does happen, hopefully you can, when it comes back around, you can remind me of the conversation we're just having.
I certainly will. You touched on it just a minute ago. Manchester City are in bad form. Does that surprise you? And what do you think's gone wrong there?
It does surprise me, but not in the point where their performance haven't surprised me. I think I've actually, because you watch all of their games, I've actually been okay. Like, they've been pretty good in moments, excellent in moments. And then, you know, just I've been in those form runs before where you do everything right and then just one moment you get punished. And I think against West Ham, I thought they were the better team, and they got punished. But that's something, you know, it definitely goes out of the window when we'll play against them, because it's those bragging rights, it's the focus, the energy is different. But for me, I think they've been performing okay. I don't know how they feel compared to they'll always compare their results, but their performances have been okay, and they've outpossessed even Arsenal when they lost that heavy loss. They outpossessed Arsenal, but just got picked off on the counter-attack. So I think it's important to keep that context, that their actually performances are not bad. They're missing a lot of key players for them, and that can affect absolutely anyone. You know, their pre-season was disrupted because of the Olympics. So I absolutely understand some of the situations they're in, but our job is to try and focus on us and take the game to Manchester City, regardless of what situation, and whether they're top of the table, whether they're bottom of the table, it doesn't matter for us. We have to try and focus on what Manchester United can do.
Yeah, just a last one from me. Derbies are so often about our attitude, character, mentality. How much of your team now carries your mentality, your attitude into a derby game?
The perfect thing is that we're about to find out, and I don't really have any more answers to you because we've not experienced one together. But what I have seen in previous derbies is I've seen the fire, I've seen spirit, I've seen the commitment to want to play for Manchester United. And I think you're right. You're absolutely right. Sometimes it's about the fire and the energy that you give, not necessarily the beautiful football that you might play in that moment. And I think that's sometimes as attractive as a beautiful passage of play. You know, we can't move away from the beauty of that side of the game. So I'm about to find out, to be honest. And from what I understand with the group and the way we talk to each other and the growth path that we're on, I'm pretty sure they're going to give absolutely everything to try and get the best result.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem. Thank you for the questions.
Thanks, Graham. Moving on to Bradley from TalkSport, please.
Hi, Mark. Good to speak to you again, mate. Hope you're well.
And you, Bradley.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Firstly, are these the sort of games that you kind of dreamed of being involved of one day? Because I remember sort of being on one of your first press conferences, and you mentioned about how when you were younger, you were a butcher's assistant. So is this sort of one of the games that you dreamed of being a part of when you were a kid?
Before I say that, I dream of having a beard like yours. That is an absolutely unbelievable beard. Yeah, no, it is. It's chiseled, mate. You've done a great job. Unfortunately, I can only grow this little thing on my chin. I think, look, do I dream of being in these positions? Of course. And sometimes you allow yourself to stand back and have a moment. We all know as a head coach, the wheels move so quickly that your games come thick and fast. You know, I never thought I'd play against Birmingham, as we did last week. But actually, to be honest, felt really nothing when we went into it. It was about business. I love to be part of a derby. I love to feel the energy. It'll obviously be my first time feeling this type of energy, but for me, we have to learn very, very quickly on the job and see what needs to kind of win results. So maybe there'll be moments where I might record a little bit for myself and reflect, but probably not right now. We're going to be focused and resolute on what we need to do to try and win the game.
And I suppose as well, this game marks a really good opportunity for you to sort of bounce back on home turf as well after the game against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and this is probably the last time I'll probably say it, is we were the architect of that downfall. So, you know, when we look at that result, we couldn't have given Chelsea better opportunities to win the game than what we did. So for us, it's about getting focused. We put a professional performance in against Birmingham, against a deep block. This game will be totally different. But we need the same type of professionalism with the fire and energy that we're talking about that's needed for a derby. But it also, look, we want to beat any team that we play against, especially at home. So yeah, we've got to find the right ways to do that. But what I've got to do with this team is, in order to win, we have to accept that winning is part of a process, and we have to manage all of our emotions to get the best out of each other in every single game. So that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to grow this trajectory and put our best effort on the pitch against Manchester City. And then, if this team can play to our capacity, then we can give absolutely anyone on our day the best of games.
Totally. And last one from me, Alessia Russo was handed her first start last weekend for the first time in a year, and I sort of spoken to Alessia before about how difficult the last year or so has been for her injury wise. So with that first start and scoring against Chelsea as well, how much is that going to do for her confidence as she returns to playing again?
Yeah, thank you for shining a light on Alessia, because I'm going to continue to be patient as I need to make sure that we in England get to see this wonderfully young, talented player. But as I am with Ella, as I will with any younger player, I'm going to protect them when they need to be protected, and give them the platform when they need the platform. And she deserved absolutely every bit of that platform she got to start against Birmingham. She was excellent when she came in against Chelsea. And, my job is, I like working with younger players as well, because I like to see their energy and their love for the game. And she absolutely has that in abundance. She's going to be a great, great talent. And, my job is to now manage to make sure we all get the talent that we want for Manchester United, but, potentially for England too later on.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Bird. Look after that beard.
Thanks, Bradley. Emma Sanders from BBC Sport.
Hi, Mark. Nice to see you.
Hi, Emma. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I haven't got a beard, but I'll do my...
To be fair, mate, yeah, you look better without a beard, I think.
Good. Thank you. You did actually kind of shut down my question that I was going to ask about whether or not you were favourites quite early on, so I'm going to reword it and try and get a different answer out of you. But,
go on, then.
But no, I guess if you take aside, obviously, the clear issues that's happening with City at the moment, and just look at yourselves and the fact that, you're now in third, fourth season in the WSL now,
yeah.
You've got a lot more experience. Obviously, you've come in and changed things, and there's kind of a progression going on. But surely this has got to be the best kind of moment that Manchester United as a club has been in going into a derby. Would you agree with that?
Well reworded. You took the long road, but I like it. Look, I think we're in a good space. I really do. And look, we look at the Chelsea, and if you actually break down the performance, we were okay. We gave them problems. More we want to continue as we go down the line, but yeah, look, we're in a good space. You can probably compare that. Are we in a better space than Manchester City are right now? But I don't know what their plans are. Would they like to win every game? I'm pretty sure they would, with knowing who they are and what they're about. But if we are the favourites, and then we're the favourites. I'm not really. That doesn't really bother me, Emma. And please don't take that as I'm ignoring your question. It doesn't matter to me whether we're favourites or not. What matters to me is that we focus, and that my players stay focused on what task we need to do. So if we need to exploit their press, if we need to find the spaces that they're going to leave when they build up, then we need to do that. That's where our focus needs to be, not on if we're favourites. We all know we temper this question and it go, and sometimes the favourites switch off. Where actually, I don't want my team to switch off. So if we have to be the underdog or we have to be the favourite, whatever we do on the day, we need to get it right to make sure we put the best performance out. So we might well be, Emma, we might well be in terms of form especially. But for me, I'm going to make sure we're focused on what we have to do and what we can control to try and beat Manchester City. And it's going to be tough. We all know, and look, we know that they might hit a bump in the road, but they're a quality team with lots and lots of quality players, as we are. And so we want to continue that growth, and we're going to keep challenging ourselves to be the best version of us. You probably get bored of me saying that, but I genuinely mean it. I have to challenge our individuals to be the best version of themselves and not look outside. There's a million distractions in football. We need to focus on what we can do. And that's a hard job as it is as a head coach, because sometimes this little voice doesn't really carry all over I've got 1 million followers on Instagram. That sometimes my little voice is not as big as that. But we have to stay focused, and that's my job. And if my players hear me, they know I do that in training as well. It's all about staying focused and in the moment, because we know it can come and go like that. So our form might be here right now and their form might not be, but we all know 3-4 games, it could flip. So we have to stay focused. I'm going to continue to say that answer. So hopefully I've navigated that one for you too.
Yeah, you've done well there. Yeah, as always, I'm always going to ask about your team news, just how everyone is, and if you could give us an update on how Martha Thomas's recovery is going as well, that'd be great, please.
Yeah, so Kirsty Smith and Martha will be out for this game. Kirsty's back on the field, so she's been doing individual training sessions this week, so hopefully we can welcome her back in next week into some training or just the week after, just see how she reacts. Martha Thomas is now walking properly, and she won't be in part of this game and probably miss the Durham game, but then after that we'll be in a contention to bring her back in, so that looks good. Millie's doing a lot of boxing, and she's getting very good at doing the boxing on the pads, so she's actually a really talented boxer from what it looks like. So apart from that, everybody else is good and ready to go, but hopefully we'll have everyone back soon enough and we can really get our squad back together.
A bit worried that you might lose Millie to boxing?
Do you know what? If Millie ever wants, she's very talented, but hopefully she does it a little bit later in her career. Hopefully she can have like almost a second sport career, be one of them kind of unique talents. But she's very good at patternings, very, very good. I mean, not that I know much about boxing, to be honest. Well, it just looks super quick. It's something I definitely can't do.
Yeah, it sounds like you know more than me. I'll let others jump in. I do have another question if I can at the end, but I'll let Hayley dictate. Thanks, Mark.
No problem.
Thanks, Emma. Next up, Catherine from the Daily Mail.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Hope you're well.
I'm all right, thank you.
Obviously, management is never easy when things aren't going well, and can be quite a lonely place at times. And I'm just wondering how you think Gareth Taylor might be feeling at the minute. I know when you were in Orlando, you had maybe a little bit of a difficult start, and then obviously managed to turn things around and went on a club record unbeaten run. So I'm just kind of wondering how you've found the kind of mental strength to do that, and how you think Gareth might be feeling right now.
That's a wonderful way of telling me that I bombed at Orlando first season. Well done, you. Yeah, look, I think Gareth, look, I don't know Gareth, but knowing his character and knowing his background and so on, I'm pretty sure Gareth will be fine. I'm pretty sure he's focused. We know that his style it can be very attractive to watch. So I'm pretty sure he's fine. You know, he'll be hurting because he's a winner and he wants to win. But I don't really know him yet enough to be in the psyche of how he feels. It's a very lonely job at times, whether you're winning or losing. I think there was a podcast that Man United TV put out, and Sir Alex was saying how lonely, and look, he's the most successful manager that ever was. So it can be a very, very lonely place, and sometimes I think we forget that. So Gareth will be absolutely fine. He's got a good support staff around him. And I'm no doubt that Manchester City, hopefully not after this game, will be bouncing right back and be really challenging. Like, we all know once their players get back to fitness, they've got a really talented squad. And they're holding the fort while they're waiting for that. But you look around that team with Lauren Hemp and Ellen White and so on, they're wonderful players. Having worked with Ellen myself, she's a great professional, great forward. So that's super talent, and I think he'll be fine. Have you asked him?
I speak to him tomorrow, hopefully. So.
Oh, okay. Ask him. Ask him how he thinks I felt at Orlando as well. See if he knows that one.
I tried to add a positive on the end by mentioning the record unbeaten run, but
I did like it. I liked it. No, you're right. That's what I mean. No, look, that's a record. I have to put up with that. That was a record that happened at the time, and the thing is, if you're a really astute person, you'll realise there are contexts to every result. Gareth hasn't had his team. He hasn't had the foundation you need to go into pre-season. He didn't have that. And knowing what they do, they won't make excuses. They just want to come and try and beat Manchester United. And that's what we've got to flip our mindset to, only what we do, rather than worry about Manchester City.
And just finally, obviously, Aoife Mannion, who's switched from one half of Manchester to the other in the summer, and obviously City are quite short of defenders as well at the minute. So I'm just wondering if she's kind of raring to go and maybe got a little bit of a point to prove going into the game.
I'm pretty sure she will have. Aoife's not said that. She's trained exactly the way she always does, which is ultra professional, learning about the opponent, knows a lot about the opponent. So she's great. She's a great professional. Somebody who I love working with because she makes training sessions interactive in terms of wants to know more knowledge, wants to do clips away from it. It's a wonderful professional. So I'm pretty sure she will have, because that's human nature. But hopefully no more than, she doesn't need to be, she doesn't need to go above and beyond. She needs to play the game plan and play to her qualities, and then she'll show just everybody just how quality she is and continues to be.
Cheers, Mark.
No problem. Thanks for the questions.
Thanks, Catherine. Dan next from WSL Full-Time Magazine.
Hey, Mark. Hope you're well.
Hello, Dan. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Catherine's
Good
just hit
stuff.
me question there, so I'll come in with my second one.
Okay.
Obviously, the game's live on TV, no international break, international window, so no Premier League games. I think when we had Everton and Man City at the start of the season, there was a big audience watching. I'm guessing an even bigger audience this weekend. How much of this is a kind of opportunity, if you like, not only to sell the women's game, but also to sell Manchester United to a greater band of fans? That's
part of just the nature of being more accessible. For us, again, we'd love to put a performance on the way of fans. We attract new fans. We continue to give our fans that are so humble, so supportive, the continued basis to which they support us and the reasons they support us. I'm not really looking overly other than that. I think we can talk about the motivation of that, but actually then we're teetering on the psyche of overperformance or overstimulation, and for us it's just about control. What can we control? We know Manchester City are a possession-based team. They love to possess the ball, and they try to lull you into positions where they can exploit the opposite side. So we know that's what they're going to try and do. We have to be ready for that. We also know that Manchester City can be vulnerable to counterattacks. We know that. It's going to be hopefully a good game for everyone to watch, regardless if you're new, whether you're a returning fan. It's just part of the process now, isn't it? It's part of why we want it to be visible. We want to put our strong female players into a position where they can show their best feet, literally their best feet, or put their best foot forward. So it's going to be hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully it's not a 0-0 where it's a dull game and people switch off. Hopefully we can give the fans something to watch.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Mark, and best of luck for Saturday. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan. Molly Hudson from The Times next.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, Molly. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good stuff.
I think we spoke at the start of the season about kind of the pre-season that United had, and it was quite a lot of stuff was going on. You came in quite late. I suppose for City it's been a little bit similar, although for different reasons. And I suppose a couple of games into the season we've seen quite a few teams have dropped points. Has it surprised you in that sense?
I think it's good, isn't it? I think not necessarily for them, not for the teams that have dropped points, but it's good because we always talk about having these like subdivisions within the table. Well, actually, hopefully we get more like, the one thing I did really admire about the NWSL in terms of, one of the things I really admired was the consistent, like you could travel away from a market and go into another one and it'd be a really close game. You could never switch off. And hopefully our league becomes more like that with the disruptions of how teams play. Tottenham's resolute performance against Manchester City, even West Ham's, they had to dig in, they had to defend when they needed to defend. I think it was very admirable. But it shows that these teams have absolute quality, and this is why I talk about focus, not just being Man City. We have to focus against Birmingham, who made it very difficult for us to break down. They sat behind the ball, barring probably 2 or 3 moments in the game. And so it's getting closer, and it's getting something where you take your eyes off it for 1 second, then you can lose a game, and that might be the end of your run-in or or your push for being in that Champions League spaces. So it's great. Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's like we always used to say anyone can beat anyone was a cliche, but it feels like it sort of is now, or it's getting there.
It's getting there. And look, there's still going to be games where it's tight and so on. I watched I watched Birmingham versus Chelsea in the Cup, and Birmingham made it so difficult first half for Chelsea to get through. And it becomes that moment. If you don't score when you're on top, that's that old cliche, then you're always vulnerable. So hopefully we get a league where nobody has that right to switch off and just expect a result, because we have to stay honest. And that's what I'm trying to make our players. It's easy for a team to switch off when they see the table. When you see, we talked to Emma just about, that underdog and favourite status. Well, I don't really ever think a favourite status is something that's good. It's a good mentality. I think it's a weak mentality, because that's the thing that switches you off. But I don't think the underdog is, because then you're always giving the opponent more praise than you should. We have to sit in that middle line. Please find me a phrase for that middle line. That's where we want to sit. That's your task. And then do an article about it, please.
You've mentioned a couple of times that you've identified City have been a little bit vulnerable to the counter-attack this season. I wonder if at a club like United, are you almost afraid to be a counter-attacking team in a derby, or are you brave enough to to do that?
Got to do something to win the game, haven't we? I think where I want our team to be is not one style. I know people come in and they say a Marc Skinner style is playing from the back and being, arrogant in the way that we do this, and we try and play through the thirds. What I'm trying to get this team to be is, if the opponent presses us super high, can we find the available spaces behind the line? Playing out from the back isn't an ego thing. It's, can we exploit the spaces that the opponent leave by us, like basically a set play, manipulating where they should be, and trying to preempt and, like a chessboard, see which moves you can make to get to the end outcome. So I just think that we need to be more adaptable. I'm trying to work on our adaptability, and I think our fans wouldn't want me to be the same style all the time. So if we only counter-attack, I think then you get into the realm of probably being predictable. I want us to be the opposite of that. I want us to be a little bit of everything. Whether I know Jonas spoke about set pieces, they're going to be a valuable thing for us. We have to score from set pieces, because you just need to win games of football, but with a style. And you'll see my style progress as we go over this season and into next, for sure, because we'll have more time with the players, and obviously we'll look to recruit players that will definitely fit into the way we want to play.